Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a 3v3 match on the map The Hills Have Eyes. I'm playing as the Soviets in the centre and my team is on the bottom. As you can see, I've started off this game by moving my MCV to the right, and the reason is when I first put down my ore refinery I wanted to be mining off the right ore patch instead of the left one. And that's to do with the size of the ore patches. The right ore patch is much bigger. I have to share both ore patches with one teammate, so I'm going to want to have more ore trucks on the right ore patch because that's bigger compared to the left ore patch. Otherwise, the person playing on the left is going to run out of ore very quickly. So that's one thing I always do on this map if I'm playing 3 players on the bottom. The other thing I did is, you notice we started with a few units. I started with a heavy tank and I've moved it straight to the base at the right, and that's because on this map, for those of you who don't know, there's lots of AI civilians in the middle, so you can't really get through the middle of the map at the start, but what you can do is you can get through the right side of the map. You can see up there, there's that little passage there, and the enemy can go through that little path, so I've moved my units to the right because that's where we could get attacked early on if there's going to be any early attacks.
Construction complete.
And because this map is ore only, well, you can actually go 2 war factories, but I'm going to actually go war factory and then build my second ore refinery, and that's just so I can spread my ore trucks out a little bit more rather than having them return to the same ore refinery. I'm going to be spreading, using some ore trucks on the top of the ore patch and some ore trucks at the bottom of the ore patch, and that's just to help maintain the ore for longer. As you can also see, I've got dogs guarding a lot of the entrances to my base. This is basically the only map I can think of really that you build dogs on, and that's because of the AI civilians. The dogs eat the AI civilians as they run past. And there you can see I've got my second ore refinery down, so it's mining from a different position on the ore patch compared to the other ore refinery. Now that I've got 2 ore refineries on the right, I'm going to build my next war factory, and then I'm going to start building ore refineries on the left of my base. I'm only going to build 2, or I'm only going to have 2 ore trucks on that side, so that I don't use up all the ore, because my teammates are going to need quite a bit of that. On this map you might know that there's a bit of a difference between the ore on the bottom of the map and the ore on the top of the map. The ore on the top of the map is greater because it's used for 5 players, whereas the ore on the bottom of the map is a bit smaller. So really you're at a little bit of a disadvantage if you're at the bottom. And if you're on the bottom of this map, you do need to be a little bit more aggressive than being at the top, because the top can just wait it out. Right, we can see that yellow's getting some boats in, so that's obviously a very good sign, because water control on this map is very important. And I can't do much about water control because I'm playing as the Soviets. Also, the team on the left of me is playing as the Soviets as well. And you can see there, one of my ore refineries looks like it's gone down, and you can see you've got that electric man. And you can see as soon as I try and send my dogs to it, they're getting shot by the civilian behind them. So I've lost a few dogs there. I've lost an ore refinery. I was hearing something happening around, but I couldn't see where it was, and I was just a little bit late on that there. That's one of the dangers, I guess, of putting your ore refinery near the top. It's going to be attacked more likely to be attacked by civilians. So I'm just going to get some of my dogs out. Just to guard, because dogs are very important. You don't want to lose them, and I've got rid of that civilian that was firing the dogs now, so I'm okay. Right, so yeah, I've just rebuilt that ore refinery. I'm just going to build it back there and continue. Right, so what I'm doing at the moment is I'm building lots of heavy tanks, and that's because I'm going to go for an attack through the middle. Now, before we started, we did choose our positions, and the opponent's team did something very strange. They put 2 of the players on the right side, which only has a small ore patch between them, and they only had 1 player on the left side, and had nobody in the middle. Since I don't have a player in the middle, I'm going to try and take advantage of that, and I'm going to try and take an MCV up the middle and put it in the middle top of the map. So it's going to be very hard to do. It might not work, but I may as well give it a try, since it's going to be less well protected than it would usually be. To be honest, I think it's quite a bad strategy to put 2 teams on the right and 1 team on the left of the top of the map, because most of your, as I said, is on the left of the map, so it's going to be very difficult for them. Although other teams might have expanded there, but this time at this stage of the game, if they have gone for an early MCV, they're going to have fewer tanks. And that's what quite often happens when you go to the top of the map. What you find that one team has either teams have spent a lot of time building MCVs, they may be buying planes instead, and you get to the top of the map and you get surprisingly little. Right, okay, this is you can see the blue team, they've actually moved the boats to the left, which has proved a bit hard for me, so that hasn't worked too well. So I'm going to have to move my heavy tanks up as quickly as possible. Right, so I'm going to the top of the map. I'm also going to be moving my MCV up to the top there. I'm going to have to hope it can get past the boats. That might be a bit tricky, but it does look like yellow are on the attack. That's worked well for me, and I've timed this a bit badly because my tanks are now going to be attacked by those civilians that have come from the middle, and if you get the timing wrong, that's what can happen. So yeah, it's been pretty bad so far for me. I've had to fight the civilians through there. I've been attacked by boats, and now it looks like Cyan have been well prepared. So Cyan have got a lot of tanks, and they're not damaged at all. So you can see this has worked out quite badly for me. I am going to lose this fight a little bit, so I'm just pulling my tanks back. And yeah, I'm going to just deploy my MCV here. Actually, it's probably going to get destroyed by the boats, but I have no choice at this stage. I could have also taken my MCV right back to my base, but there was no point there. And now green are coming for me. So this looks... my Tesla coil has been destroyed. I'm going to build another one, but I should get my other tanks, my reinforcements up here soon. I'm going to go for that missile launcher because it has low HP. And it's looking okay now. I'm going to survive this with my little base, but... you can see that I'm getting fired on by cruisers now, and now Cyan's coming back to attack me, so I've got another Tesla coil down. So we should get some damage. I don't think I've done actually too badly in the end. We did get a lot of kills on green, and we've got a few kills on the Cyan since we've now got a Tesla coil that's done quite a little bit of damage. So at least it hasn't been a complete waste of an attack, which it looked like it was going to be at the start. And we've salvaged a little bit, because you can see now Cyan have only got... they've got very few tanks left. They've got 4 tanks, and if you remember at the start, they overwhelmed us a lot. And I'm just replenishing my dogs because I accidentally clicked everyone there and took everyone to the top of the map. Now, there's something that's more important that happened in this game while that was going on. What you can see if you look at the radar dome is you can see that orange have actually now got a base in the top left, right at the bottom. And that means they're on the top of the map and taking ore from their side. So they've had a little bit of time to establish a base there. So this is looking very, very good. Orange need to do whatever they can to make sure they can hold on to that little base. So while I was providing distraction, Orange did a really good job of managing to do that. And you can see that green are coming down the map now. They've timed it wrong like I did, and they've just had a big civilian attack. And I'm going to put a Tesla coil down here just for a bit of protection. So they did have a big force, but you can see that it's been drastically weakened, and we seem to be clearing this okay. And now we've got civilians coming down, that we're coming down after them, so we'll just have to clear them up, but that won't be too much problem. You can see Tesla coils are quite effective against civilians, but they managed to blow up all my dogs there. And now I'm going to just bring some tanks back to the top. And you can see my teammate has lost the water to the right, so that's a big blow for us. One of the big things on this map is water control, and especially if you're on the right. So it's a bit of a blow to us that we don't have control of that water, but we'll have to make that do for now. What we do have though is we have a good strength on the right side, left side of the map, with Orange getting that upper base, so that's going really well for us at the moment. And we're just destroying that Cyan outbase there, and we'll have to do a little bit of fighting here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and bring my tanks down and do a bit of damage to Blue's base. Just to help my teammate Yellow a bit. Hopefully they'll be able to maybe make an attack from the... well, they won't be able to make an attack from the bottom, unfortunately, because all the boats are there. But we'll see if we can get a bit of visibility on the base, get some damage to major buildings, hopefully. So we're taking out the construction yard, but I do think they'll have a service depot or something that'll help. They've probably built another MCV by this time, possibly. But hopefully we've done a little bit of damage there. And I'm just getting a bit more visibility as well so I can see what's going on. And you can see that ore patch there between green and blue's base is running very, very low, which is a very good sign for us. And that's why you don't really want to put a team in those two positions, because that ore patch is going to run out quite quickly. And actually, I think I did remember now seeing blue on the left side of the map also, where Cyan was. And you can see Cyan's doing a little bit of attack, but Orange have got some tanks there. They've got quite a few tanks there, so they should be okay. Yeah, and it just looks like a bit like a matter of time before yellow go. Hopefully we've delayed that a little bit with that attack there. Hopefully blue will be focusing on building back the base. Right, we can see the civilians are coming through there. And you can see there's actually some blue tanks that I think they're actually helping to the left of the map. They're probably a bit more worried about Orange's base and his tanks there than they are about destroying yellow at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up around the top, and you can see there's a load of civilians chasing me. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to fight them with my tanks yet. I'm going to run into my opponent's base first and let the civilians blow up and do all the stuff there. So we're just running as quickly as we can. We'll get nicely into the base by the time these civilians catch up to us. It looks like blue's got some medium tanks to fight us with. Cyan don't have anything at the moment. I think it's because they were attacking orange first of all. So we're getting nicely into the base. At the moment, blue's tanks are pretty much gone. We can see the civilians are coming, so I'm just going to run right into the base now. And we're going to see how much damage they can do, because some of them look like they might blow up. And you can see that, it's absolutely massive. I think we've just took out about 7 buildings there. And we can see that Cyan have quit the game now. After seeing that explosion, Cyan just, I think, gave up there. So that was absolutely huge. I think that's the biggest civilian explosion I've ever seen. It did take out a massive part of blue's base, so that was very, very successful. And we can see blue's base is pretty much gone now from the left side of the map, up there. They might have built actually a little bit, you can see there's a bit of darkened area at the bottom, but that's really cleared out the top left of the corner of the map, and Cyan have now quit, so it's only blue and green left. And you can see we've lost pretty much all of the right side of the map. Green have cleared it up. We can see blue have the boats down there. I'm not going to take my tanks past them, else that's going to be really, really bad. So it's looking very good for us. What I'm doing now is I'm building some power plants and some Tesla coils in that right ore patch, because you can notice also we're running quite low on ore, but because Orange have the base at the top left of the map, I'm not too worried, because if we run out of ore, Orange will have some ore there and they'll probably be able to handle it from there on. Right, we're going to be taking on this blue's base here. We can see they did in fact have some structures to the left side below the other base. And we'll just destroy this, because while Orange is running past tanks, he's having some damage into his tanks. So if we just destroy this little base here, we can just clear blue completely from the left side of the map, and that means that in this little spot here, you can see they're also running a little bit low on ore, so it might not be too long till they're struggling. You can see we've also got cruisers firing on our ore trucks. That's probably going to be damaging a bit of the ore as well. Which is unfortunate, but there's nothing we can do about it. We are in a good position at the moment, and you can see I'm bringing my tanks in now, and it's a bit of a hard place on the map to fight this little bit here, because you can see there's so many hills, and it's very, very hard to bring your tanks together in a group. It's not like other open maps which are a bit more open, like Arena Valley Extreme, where you can really bunch your tanks up. And it's not just us which are having a problem, it's our opponents as well. You can see that green's tanks are really strung out, blue's tanks are. So it's, a bit of a hard part of the map to fight on. Green's brought some of his tanks around the other side. I don't know if he meant to do that or it was just the tracking. And it's going quite well for us. We've managed to whittle down the forces quite a lot. And blue don't look like we've got much left at all. And we're going to bring our tanks into green's base, maybe try and do a little bit of damage while we're there. One of the things about destroying bases on this map though is because the AI civilians in the middle are very, very strong. But also, when you destroy buildings, any civilians from the buildings, which are controlled by the other player, are also very, very strong. And that means you take a lot of damage when you're destroying buildings in your opponent's base, which means you lose your tanks very quickly, which is what we've seen happen there. Right, I think I'm safe at the bottom now. I don't think I have to worry anymore. It looks like green are pretty much done for, and blue won't have much left either. And actually, we can see the ships have gone. Blue ships are up at the top now. It's pretty much over. I think it's just a case of destroying our opponents, and that's not going to cause me too much hassle. I've just dropped a nuke on some of my power plants, but I've got plenty of power anyway. Right, so where did we probably win this match? I think the most important part was right at the start. When I attacked the middle, I managed to whittle down some of the tanks, but essentially what Orange did is use that distraction in order to build a base in the top left. And when they got that base in the top left, it meant they had plenty of ore to mine, and they were able to build an army and put pressure on that left-hand position. What could have our opponents possibly done differently? Well, I think the big mistake they made is we can see that blue have actually quit now, and it's only green left. I think the big mistake they made though was in the layout of the base at the start. I think what they should have done is they should have had Cyan probably in the middle, because Cyan built a lot of tanks at the start. He was in a very strong position and he would have been able to repel me on his own. If they'd had green on the left side of the map, then Cyan could have defended against me, green could have defended against orange, building a base early on, and blue, as we saw, they got control of the water at the start of the game. So blue would have been fine also, and then that would have put them in a very, very strong position. So if they'd done that, I think they could have possibly won that match. Right, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.